Lee and Shannon with LG Speed and Custom. So Shannon blew the rear end up in her Comet.
No, I didn't. You did.
I blew the rear end up in her Comet, which you guys all knew was going to happen. Everyone that said that we need to put an 8-inch in, now's your chance to say, I told you so. So that's what we're going to do in this video. Put a wanted ad up the other day, and we have picked up a 1974 Maverick 8-inch rear end, which according to the internet, which I rarely believe, claims it should be a direct bolt-in. Should be like 56 inches wide. When we measured this one, it was 57 inches wide, which is probably close enough. I don't know what the spring perches are. I don't care, because we can make the spring perches whatever we need. So we're gonna lift this thing out of here and maybe take it apart and have a look on the inside. Apparently it came out of the car in 1995, so it's been sitting for a while. Probably gonna have to do brakes, drums, wheel cylinders, maybe wheel seals. Should probably do wheel seals. I don't know if we need to do bearings. I guess we'll find out when we get into it. So let's do it.
Woohoo!
Come on.
That you're the best, but I know you're only second guess. Those things you do, I can tell. Should it be right when I see you swell? Well, honey, you think that.
So the brake drums are seized on this thing. So I think the first thing we're going to do is probably get a hammer and give them a couple whack-a-smacks to get the drums off, and then we can see what it's like inside.
Hammer time.
Drums off on this side. Shannon's still working on the other side. These shoes were like almost new when it went together. All this stuff is seized as we would expect, but the axle turns, so that's a good sign. Let's get the other side off and then see if it actually turns with the pinion or not.
This is doing nothing.
It spins. That's a good sign. Well, we've got both sides apart. We've got both sides apart now, and we need everything. So we're gonna head over to see Uncle Rick Montgomery, down at Bumper to Bumper, and get some drums, some shoes, hardware kit, wheel cylinders. Shannon wants to try the emergency brake cables that are already in her car to see if they'll fit in here, which I think is a great idea. So we'll hold off on buying new e-brake cables, and we'll probably get wheel seals too. I'm going to trust that Rick's book will have the part number for the wheel seal so that we don't have to take this apart any further to get the part number off the actual wheel seal. And if he doesn't, then I guess we'll do that. Bumper to Bumper is just a couple blocks from here, so it's not a big deal. We found all the brake parts except for the drums. It turns out a 74 Maverick is kind of a weird oddball deal because it uses 1 3/4 shoes and all the other 8 inches use 2-inch shoes. So Rick found the wheel cylinders, hardware kit, and shoes, but we're on our own for brake drums. Rock Auto wants $100 a piece plus shipping for them, so we might see if we can get these ones turned. I don't know if anyone will turn them. They're pretty pitted in there, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. In the meantime, we're gonna just keep taking stuff apart. Probably pull the axles out so we can check the bearings. I think we'll take the center section out because there's no drain on this rear end. So if we take the center section out, we can drill and tap the bottom for a drain and put new gear oil in, because who knows how much gear oil's in here and how old it is. Everything inside the drum was seized, but the stupid brake line just came apart like it was put together yesterday.
I need your body help, I need your way. All tomorrow it's home trail. I need your mind, I can't be sure. This time I don't understand. Honey, I think you're the best. But I know you're only second guess. Those things you do, I can tell.
So the wheel bearings and the wheel seals all look really nice. There's a little bit of surface rust on some of the gears. I'm assuming this was probably the part that was sitting out of the oil, but I don't know if I'm worried about it. I think we'll just put it back together and run it. So Shannon's got the center section all cleaned up, and we're gonna drop it back in now. We're using some right stuff for the gasket, because it's the right stuff for the job. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
You might have to guide it in there.
Yep.
Watch your fingers that it doesn't pinch you. Here we go.
Well, honey, you think that you're the best. But I know you're only second guess. Those things you do, I can tell. Should it be right when I see you swell?
Time to wire wheel this thing.
That's all the drill. I need your mind, I can't be sure. This time I don't understand. Honey, I think you're the best. But I know you're only second guess. Those things you do, I can tell. Should it be right when I see you swell? Oh, I gotta see that. I need your body help, I need your ways. All tomorrow it's home trail. I need your mind, I can't be
Just after we finished painting, it got really cold all of a sudden and the wind picked up, so we've moved inside. We're gonna put the brakes back together. We've got new shoes, brake adjuster kits for the left side and right side, but Rick could not get a hardware kit, so we're going through my leftover pieces from old hardware kits, and we're gonna try to assemble something. And if not, all the hardware in the old stuff, but most of it was still okay. So worst case scenario, we can put old stuff back in to make it work again. Still don't have drums yet. Like I said earlier, we want to try to get these ones turned down if we can. But it's Saturday and all the brake drum turning businesses are closed today.
well, honey, you think that you're the best. But I know you're only second guess. Those things you do, I can tell. Should it be right when I see you swell? Well, honey, you think that you're the best. But I know you're only second guess. Those things you
Brakes are done, minus the drums. We're filling it up with some gear oil now. And then all that's left is put it in. Actually, we got to make the brake line still too. Over to there. It's the following Saturday, and we're gonna continue on with this project. We were able to get these drums turned, thankfully, so that saved a lot of money. So we can reuse those. We also have a new U-joint, and this is the weld yoke or end yoke that gets welded in the drive shaft. So I think we're ready to start pulling the other rear end out,
Yeah.
which is outside. And even though it looks nice and sunny, it's kind of cold out, so we're not really looking forward to it. We were gonna bring the car inside, move my 32 out and bring Shannon's car inside, but we've got two issues with that. One, I don't know if her U-bolts and spring plates are gonna work on this 8-inch rear end. And the other problem is we haven't got the 14-inch tires mounted on the 14-inch 5-bolt wheels. Her car currently has 13-inch 4-bolt wheels, and they're not going to work with this 8-inch. So we have everything, we just don't have it ready yet. And I don't want to bring her car in here where it's nice and warm, get the rear end like half installed, and then find out we don't have the right U-bolts. Or more importantly, we don't have wheels to roll it back outside. And on Monday, I got to go back to work, so can't have it sitting in here until we get that sorted out. So we'll just put a jacket on, and we'll go outside and deal with it out there.
Well, honey, you think that you're the best, but I know you're only second guess. Those things you do, I can tell. Should it be right when I see you swell? Well, honey, you think that you're the best, but I know you're only second guess. Those things you do, I can tell. Should it be right when I see you swell? Well, yeah.
We successfully got the blown up rear end out. So we're gonna scavenge this brake hose because it's just about brand new still. And on the 8-inch, the emergency brake cables that were on there, they actually weren't seized, they worked great. However, this is a one continuous loop system. So we're gonna steal the emergency brake cables out of this one, put them in the other one. We were gonna take the brake lines as well, but this brake line it's not the greatest, so we'll just make a new one. And more importantly, we're gonna open this up to see what blew up inside. That's the part I'm excited about. Collect the oil. Okay, what's it look like in there? I'm gonna roll this over. Oh yeah.
There's your problem.
Yeah. There's your problem indeed. Okay, I'm gonna tip this back and we'll see if any chunks fall out.
Ooh. Yep, there was one. Gross.
Okay. Right there. Do you think we can just weld those teeth back on?
Sure, why not?
I can't see the ring gear well enough if it's broken as well. Or the pinion. The pinion gear looks okay. I think it's just the ring gear that broke. We stripped everything out of the old rear end, so now we're gonna transfer everything to the new rear end, switch the brake hose over, take these e-brake cables out, put the other ones in, put the drums on, and then we can put it back under the car. Hopefully the weather holds off. We've been fighting, it's been raining, it'll rain for a couple minutes and then the sun comes back out and it rains, wind picks up. It's not a nice day. We just finished lunch, and now we're going to put this thing in there. It's freezing out.
Girls, you make this rockabilly world go round. Hey! Well, I was just a skinny lad, never knew no good from bad. I knew life before I left my dungarees.
It fits. It dropped right in on the spring perches, or on the lowering blocks. Amazing. We're gonna double check our drive shaft length now to make sure the drive shaft is doesn't need to be shortened or lengthened at all. And then we can pull the drive shaft out because we gotta change the yoke on the back. So the drive shaft's 59 1/4, and we gotta shorten it 1 inch to 58 1/4, which is great because shortening it 1 inch is easy. Lengthening it 1 inch, that's the hard one. Okay, so the rear end is sitting in there. Shannon's got the brake hose done up again. We haven't bled them yet, but they're done up. And while she was doing that, I got the emergency brake cables all hooked up. I don't know if you can see them in there, but whatever, they're hooked up. And yeah, the drive shaft's measured. Just U-bolts, spring plates,
Yep.
tires, get the drive shaft cut.
Yep.
That's all we got left. We found U-bolts in the shop that are gonna work from, I don't know, they were just hanging on the wall. And I got an idea for spring plates. So here's our U-bolts. Shannon just finished washing them all in the parts washer, and they fit the housing or the axle tube, and they got enough length. These are the original spring plates, and they are way too small, but we've got a spring plate machine right here. We can just make some.
Yeah.
There we have it. We put a little tab on the side for a shock. We'll cut them out, and then we can fold that over. We're gonna make them out 1/4 inch. These ones were just like, I think 1/8 inch or maybe 3/16, but they are folded over on the side, which does add a lot of strength. So we'll cut these at 1/4 inch, bend our tabs, and then from there we can assess if we need to put like a gusset along here to stop them from bending. I don't think they will, but I don't know. We've got both our spring plates cut out. I just made a mark with chalk. We're gonna heat that up and fold it over to get our shock mount.
Hey! Well, I was just a skinny lad, never knew no good from bad. I knew life before I left my dungarees. Left alone with Big Fat Penny, she was such a naughty nanny. Big hip woman, you made a bad boy out of me. Now I'm singing with my band, cross the wires, cross the land. I feed every blue-eyed floozy along the way. But their beauty and their style went kinda smooth after a while. Take me to those lovely ladies every day. Sing it. Ah, you gonna take me home tonight. Ah, down beside that red fire line. Oh, you gonna let it all hang out. That bottom girls who make this rockabilly world go round. Hey, hey.
Okay, our little plates are, for the most part, dry. As dry as we have patience for. So we're gonna put them back or bolt them in. And that's probably about as far as we can get today because we need the drive shaft and the tires next.
Sing it. You gonna take me home tonight. Down beside that red fire line. You gonna let it all hang out. Flat bottom girls, you make this rockabilly will go round. Flat bottom girls, you make this rockabilly will go round. Flat bottom
Yeah, that's probably good. Okay, I'm gonna drop the jack down. There we go. I think we should probably trim the bottom of those U-bolts. Mind you, they're not any lower than the shock studs.
One of
So-
mine is.
I guess once we get the tires on, we'll see how low they are.
This one's really low.
Yeah. But it's in. Just need drive shaft and tires now.
Drive shaft, tires. Tires we have.
And it's burnout time again.
No.
gonna take me home tonight. Down beside that red fire line. Oh,
Well, it's 7 days later. We had a beautiful week. Nothing but sunshine, working with the shop doors open and a t-shirt. It was great. Loved it. Today, we have the drive shaft. Got the drive shaft back yesterday from the drive shaft shop. We're ready to put it in, and it's cloudy, starting to rain. But whatever, we'll do it anyways. We've got almost our tires ready. So these are the tires that used to be on the car. They're 4-bolt. These are the wheels we're putting on now. They're 5-bolt. These are some 590/14 tires that Shannon bought at the Coastal Swap Meet last year. Smoking deal on these. She paid $10 a tire for them. They're a little dirty, but I think they'll clean up okay. So we're going to be putting them on. I think Shannon wants to paint them green, like the other wheels were. The problem right now is we only have one. Our pal Matt at Gas Classics, he brought these over yesterday. He mounted them up on his tire machine, and when he got back with them, one was already flat. So we sprayed it with some soapy water, and the bead was leaking on it, even though he did clean the bead up before he put them on, but it still didn't seal. So he took it back, and he's going to fix that up today and then bring it back over, or we might have to go get it. I don't know, but the point is we only got one tire. So we're going to put the drive shaft in. We still got to bleed the brakes, put the tires on, maybe paint the wheels, and that's it. We're done.
now with mortgages and homes, I got sickness in the bones. Ain't no beauty queen in this locality. No, but I still got my greatest pleasure. I still keep my secret treasure. Big heap woman, you made a bad boy out of me. Sing it. You gonna take me home.
I've just put a pinion snubber in here. The pinion snubber was always missing on this car. And with the 6-cylinder, it was fine. And when Shannon was driving it, it was fine. But when I was driving it, for some reason on the first to second shift, the old rear end would hit this. So hopefully that'll prevent that from happening. I'm gonna slide this drive shaft back in now. I forgot that we put a rubber glove over the tail shaft. And it's all full of transmission fluid now. It's all bloop, 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 bloop. Slide this off. Kersploosh. All right, drive shaft in. Next. Drive shaft's done. Drive shaft fits. I was a little nervous about the U-joint because I never actually measured the yoke on this rear end. I just went off of the Rock Auto part number for what a 74 Maverick would have. And it was right. So drive shaft fits. Drive shaft's done. Bleed the brakes next. Shannon just finished scrubbing the tire. It cleaned up really nice. You know, it's not like show car perfect, but it's definitely $10 a tire daily driver good enough.
Hey! Well, I was just a skinny lad, never knew no good from bad. I knew life before I left my dungarees. Left alone with Big Fat Penny, she was such a naughty nanny. Big heap woman, you made a bad boy out of me. Now I'm singing with my band.
Brakes are bled. All we got left now is to put the wheels on. But Shannon wants to paint them first, like we talked about. So here's two little hacks we got. When you're painting wheels, I talked about this when we did the wheels on my 32. I just plop them on top of a shop stool, and that way they sit flat and you can spin them. So that's my hack. The blanket is on there just so that we don't get overspray on it. Now Shannon's hack. You guys know the green that Shannon is slowly painting this car panel by panel, that one door. Inside of the doors are done, the engine bay is done. So that is a single stage acrylic enamel, I believe, that she had made up. Now, she had that color made up off of this. She painted during the very first week of lockdown during COVID. We were bored. So Shannon painted her wheels with that paint that I just showed you, that rattle can. And she really, really liked the color. So she made a spray card up and took it to Rondex, where Jim mixed up a gallon of that in a Nason single stage paint. Now the reason that is a hack is because anytime Shannon needs to do touch-ups or like paint her wheels or her engine, for example, it's all painted with this stuff. So you can just go down to the hardware store. She got this at Canadian Tire. Buy a can of it and boom, there's your touch-up paint, and it's like a dead match, which I thought was brilliant. Naturally, as soon as Shannon was getting ready to start painting, it started kind of drizzling or spitting a little bit. So I'm going to try a trick here that we saw the other night on Make It Custom. These threads are a little bit crusty, and I mean, we could run a tap on them, but that's very awkward and kind of sucks. So we were watching Make It Custom the other night, and he had the threads gull up on his bead roller. So he used valve lapping compound or valve grinding compound. So I've got some valve grinding compound here. So we'll smear a little bit on there. And then, you know what I did not bring with me? It was a rag. We'll just wipe it off on there. And then, yeah, let's see if this cleans up at all. Yeah, I think it's working. Oh yeah, that cleaned it up really nice. Cool. That was a great trick, Carl. I'm gonna do all of them now. Yeah, look at that. I can thread that on and off with my fingers now. Beautiful. Wheel studs are all cleaned up. Shannon is finished painting this wheel. It looks amazing, as you would expect. I went rummaging through the bolt bin and found a bunch of chrome lug nuts. So Shannon's over here buffing them up, making them shine. Wow, isn't that great? Matt texted me, and he's working on the tire right now, so we could probably head down there at any point and pick up that tire. By the time we get there, he should be done. Well, we're back from Matt's place. He's got a tire that holds air, so I'm going to clean this one up. The other one that Doris is investigating right now, it would not seal. He popped the bead, put bead sealer on there. No luck. Put bead sealer on twice actually, and it still just bubbles all the way out of here. So we'll have to get a tube for that one. Because it's Easter weekend right now, we can't get a tube anywhere. So we took the other tire and rim down to him, and that one fortunately sealed. So we'll paint that one. I'm going to clean it up, paint it green, and then we'll put these wheels on. While Shannon's masking this second wheel up for paint, I want to measure the height difference between these two, because the 590 14s are definitely taller than the 13s, which is going to raise the car up a bit, which is what we want. Because after we put the lake pipes on, you know, I don't often say that cars are too low, but this was a little bit too low. And if two people were in the car going in and out of parking lot entrances, the lake pipes were definitely dragging. So a little bit of height is not going to hurt in this situation. So right off the bat, if we roll these back to back, there's a pretty big height difference right there. Probably, is that about 3 inches? So obviously you got to split the difference because the tire isn't going to be mounted down here. It's going to be in the middle like that. So 3 inches should lift the car about 1.5 inches, which will probably be perfect. Stay. Stay. Measuring this way, we are like 22.5 to the top. And this guy is 25. So that's 2.5 inches, I guess. 1.25 inches. We'll be 1.25 inches higher. It's going to look a little funny right now because we still have the 13s on the front. We found, I don't know if I said this already or not, but we found some Mustang 14-inch wheels for the front, which are the same. They're from a 6-cylinder Mustang, so they're the same bolt pattern. So we can put those on the front and then put the other 2 of these guys up front, and then the car will sit level. It's going to look a little funny for now, but at least we'll get it back on the road. The 14s are, I found them in Langley, which is just outside of Vancouver. So my friend Bob Coulter, he grabbed those, and they're sitting at his house. And we just have to either go and pick them up or wait till somebody is coming to Victoria and can give them a ride. The end of May. It's Easter weekend right now. If you're watching this video right now, it'll probably be like a month before this video is out. So we're a month behind right now. So a month and a half or so is the coastal swap meet at the end of May. So we might be able to grab them there, but maybe not. Maybe someone will be coming in the meantime. Anyways, I'm just babbling.
Yeah, well, we can't make it to the coastal swap meet. We're going to have a newborn.
So, you guys want to see Shannon's nuts that she polished? Wow, look at that. Super shiny. Shannon's painting the other rim right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. Hopefully these fit. Oh, it's a bit of a squeeze in there. I think I need the floor jack under the other side to tilt her that way. All right, so I just put the jack under the axle pad on the other side and jacked the rear end up so that it tilts like that. And what that does is lowers the brake drum a little bit. So hopefully that will, oh yeah, that worked perfect. Another trick you can do is just deflate the tire. But we just struggled so much with that other tire, I'm a little bit gun shy to let the air out of this tire. And that lapping compound trick worked so good. Look, I just thread these on by hand. How's it look, Shannon?
It looks great.
Shannon's standing behind the camera right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I like what you're thinking.
Just the black
Do it
thing.
again. Hold it up again, but hold your hand on the other side. Yeah, I'm into that. We'll do that. That'll be a project for another day.
Yeah.
So it fits in there. Pretty nice. We've got good clearance. It fits in there really nice. I can stick my whole hand through here. So I think we're good clearance-wise. It definitely does stick out a little further than it used to, but I'm excited to see it back on the ground and see how much better these 14s fill the wheel well compared to the 13s. I think it'll make it look less like a compact car and more like a real car. So I know a lot of people have mentioned in the comments how much it bothers them that Shannon's got this one porta-wall with the chunk out of it. She hit a curb in a traffic circle like 2 days after we put those on, unfortunately. So she's taking that one off and putting one of the back tires, the old back tires, on. So I hope everybody's satisfied now. This is pretty dry now. I think we can put it on. I just finished putting the jack under there to tilt this brake drum down. Let's unmask this and put it on. Wow. No.
Biggie woman, you made a bad boy out of me. Sing it. Ah, you gonna take me home tonight.
Will it go backwards? Will it stall? This engine's a little cold-blooded. I think this is a win. Yeah, you know, the tire offset's not even that noticeable. I think it looks good. I'm happy with this. So we've got a couple t-shirt orders from the last video to deliver. So thank you everybody that ordered shirts from our last video. I really appreciate that. So we thought that'd be a great opportunity to go for a test drive and try it out. We just went over the speed bump and the lake pipes did not rub, so that's a plus. How do the brakes feel?
Very good.
They feel good?
They're
Perfect.
good. They're
Nice.
strong.
Nice and strong. Used to always scrape pulling into this parking lot here. Front still scrapes, but the back didn't scrape. I think with the taller front tires, it'll be all right. We're out on the highway right now, and this ratio, I think it was a 273 or 279 ratio that's in this 8-inch rear end. And with the slightly taller tire, it has really helped the RPM on the highway. This thing used to just scream, and it's quite tolerable now. We just checked the speedometer against the GPS app on my phone here, and we're 10 miles an hour out, which is fine, I guess. So if you wanted to, you could get a different gear to go on the speedometer cable to correct it, but we probably won't. Just keep a mental note that the speedometer is not accurate. We always just go with the flow of traffic anyways. So the drive shaft that was in this car originally, like when we first put the 302 in, our friend Ken built that drive shaft, and he's a machinist. He is not a drive shaft builder. So although he did a great job on the drive shaft, when he gave it to us, he said he had no way of balancing it. And this car did have a pretty good vibration on the highway. So when we got it shortened that 1 inch, we got it balanced, and it's considerably better now, although there's still a little bit of vibration. But we also just took off newer radial tires and put on some old bias ply tires. So who knows if that's where our vibration is. I would probably suspect that's where it is. But it's tolerable now. Like before, when we went to the Grand National Roadster Show, we drove out to the airport in this, which is about a half an hour down the highway, and it was pretty bad. Whereas now, like, I'd be comfortable driving this anywhere like this. So we're gonna go do a little bit more highway test and tuning.
see you swell. Well, I teach my age ways. Oh, that's home run. I teach I can't be sure. This time I don't understand.
Okay, there we have it. This is the 8-inch rear end swap in Shannon's 61 Comet. I think this was a very good upgrade. The drivability is much nicer. It's for the power that this engine puts out, this rear end should be, I don't want to use the term bulletproof, but it should last for a long time. So thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, please check out lgspeedcustom.com. Get yourself some LG Speed and Custom merch. Thanks to Hot Rod Hullabaloo from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan for the soundtrack on this. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks so much for watching.